Insane, guys. I don't know if you watched the Apple event where they announced the new M1 chip, but it was crazy. Like, if you're coming from Windows and then you move to Apple, you have a MacBook, you don't have anything. Like, this new chip is crashing Intel. So let's start because this is huge. So hey guys, it's Albert Aguilar. Welcome back to Apple Obsession. I know that there's been 3 days since the Apple event, guys, there was a lot to process. So we're gonna talk about a few things. But let's start with the event. They announced 3 MacBooks: MacBook Air 13 inches, MacBook Pro 13 inches. Those two, okay, we covered them, we got them. We were assuming that they were gonna be announcing those, but guys, we didn't think about the Mac Mini. And now that they announced it, and I kind of give it a thought, it makes a lot of sense. So I think it's something that we missed, everyone missed, but the developers that were kind of developing the new apps and stuff for the macOS Big Sur that just released on November 12th today, guys, when I'm recording this video, they were already testing it with the Mac Mini. So I don't know if we just didn't think about this, if we kind of went big and talked about the possibility of having the MacBook Pro 16 inches, but we completely missed the Mac Mini, and I think it's a great addition, especially because they decreased the price. So it's huge. So yeah, MacBook Air 13 inches, MacBook Pro 13 inches, and Mac Mini. But guys, this chip, it's insane. It's crashing Intel. It's just, the graphics that they showed, they were not the best graphics, You don't have a very good idea of how you compare them, or what is the latest Windows that they're talking about, You kind of are in between of like, yeah, it's a huge performance, but okay, what am I comparing it? But then, once they announce the Air, then the Pro, and you see everything, and it's crazy. I have my MacBooks Pro from 2015, 15 inches, and I basically bought the 15 inches instead of the 13 because I was using it for video editing, photography. I was doing a little bit of Cinema 4D. And right now I realize that obviously the MacBook Pro 13 inches is way faster and the performance is much better than this MacBook. Obviously this is 2015, we're in 2020. Not the best year, but the best year for Apple. So I don't know if I need the 16 inches anymore. I mean, the MacBook Pro 13 inches, I think it's gonna make the work, it's smaller, it's gonna be better for portability, and it's gonna be more than enough for video editing, for YouTube, for photography, and I don't do 3D modeling anymore. So I think it's gonna be more than enough, guys. These chips, you have to think that Apple was receiving the Intel chips, okay, and then they were building everything around these Intel chips, trying to get the most of it with the cooling system, with the RAM, with the hard drive, with the storage, everything. But right now, they've been, the last 2 or 3 years or more, developing their own chips, and now it's not only getting the Intel chips and doing everything around, it's just doing everything like they want. So not only they are getting an amazing performance, it's super efficient, and the battery life. That for me is the most important thing. It's not like, oh, the last MacBook Air had 10 hours of battery life and now we're moving to 12. Oh, that's great. No, guys. The last MacBook had 10-hour battery life and we're just moving to 20. They just doubled it. That's insane. From 1 year to the other, they are not refreshing the design, but they are just getting a laptop. You're getting a laptop that it's gonna be working more than the hours that you're awake during a day. Tell me that it's not insane. It's crazy. And I'm super excited about having the new MacBook Pro 13 inches. Honestly, I think I'm gonna trade in this MacBook and I'm gonna go with the 13 inches. Then, if we talk about the MacBook Air, I think the line between the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro 13 inches is getting a little bit confusing, and there's been a lot of questions about it, because, okay, so the MacBook Air, the best MacBook, the thinnest, the lightest MacBook that a lot of students are getting, it remains at $999, which is amazing. It's gonna be even less for students in the Education Apple Store. But how do you decide if you need the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro? Honestly, I think that the main difference, it has the same chip. That's the first thing, yeah? M1, the Mac Mini has the M1 as well, so it's the same chip for the 3 of them. The main difference for me is going to be the cooling system in the MacBook Pro. I think that's going to be, you're going to be able to have a better performance when you're doing, 3D modeling or using AutoCAD or 3D software, video editing with 8K, 6K, things like that. I think there is where you're gonna really see the difference. Even though they announced that with the MacBook Air, you can still edit 6K, which is crazy, guys. But the difference for me is gonna be with the cooling system, that it's gonna allow you a great performance, with the computer not heating or just being a little warm and still running fast. That's gonna be the main thing for me. And then obviously, I kind of was expecting that they were gonna keep the prices. I was not expecting what they did with the Mac Mini, but it makes sense, the Mac Mini is the same with their own chip, and what they did, they just decreased the price to $699. And then with the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro 13 inches, they just kept the same price. And they doubled the performance, the efficiency, and the battery life. So it's insane. Yes, we're not having a new design, but you know that the tendency with Apple is that the first year, okay, they get the power, the efficiency, and then 1 year after, so probably 2021, next fall, we're gonna get the new designs. And maybe, who knows, a different experience for the MacBook, where it's gonna be, a screen that it's gonna be, you're gonna be able to use Apple Pencil, or you're gonna be able to touch it. We don't know. But this is insane, and it's all thanks to the M1 chip. If this is as powerful as they showed, which now the YouTubers next week are going to start reviewing the videos, they will receive all the MacBook Air, Mac Mini, and MacBook Pro 13 inches, and they will really tell us, they will explain as if the numbers, the graphs, everything we saw, it's real. Then we're going to have to see, what can we guys expect for the MacBook Pro 16 inches? I know there's rumors about a 14 inches MacBook Pro, but like, if this is the performance they are getting with the MacBook Pro 13 inches, do they need the Mac Pro? Are they going to keep it? I mean, I don't know. I'm super excited. I just wanted to give you a quick recap of everything we saw. What are my thoughts? What are the main questions and the main, things that people are looking at when they are deciding what to buy, if it's the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro? I think a lot of people is going to go with the Mac Mini, basically because maybe you don't need an iMac anymore for certain things, such as photography, like Photoshop, or InDesign, Illustrator. I think with the Mac Mini, you're going to, with this power and the efficiency that you're going to have, having a good screen, I think it's going to be more than enough for many more customers. And that's going to tell a lot of people to go and buy the Mac Mini instead of getting the iMac, that is more expensive. But then, guys, we're going to have to wait for next year to see what's the iMac refresh, and how is the, are they going to call it M2, M1.A, M1X? We don't know. But the M1 is a beast, it's crashing Intel, it's going to be crashing Windows. I think Apple was years ahead with the phones because of the A14 Bionic chip. I think with the M1, it's the level, they're just taking it to a whole new level. And that's insane, guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to go for the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro. I'm telling you already, if you want power and for the thinnest MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro, I think it's not much difference. If you want power, I would go with MacBook Pro. That's what I'm going for. So guys, let me know down below what you thought about the event. If you have any questions about what MacBook to get or anything, I'll be happy to answer you. Also, a lot of you have been saying that it was a very packed event, that it was a great event, but it was like just too much information at once, They kept it shorter than an hour. They normally reserve the slot, I think it's for 2 hours, from 1 to 3 Eastern Time. It's a different time for Pacific Time, but I mean the East Coast. So I love it. But yeah, I agree that it was just, here is the M1 chip, the capabilities, the performance, and then okay, the first MacBook, and one more thing, the second one, and we're not done, the third one. So it was super quick, like I was speaking right now, instead of like, this MacBook, and we also move it to the second Mac. So it was kind of different. But still, I think it was a great event, a great way to close a different 2020, the third event of the year. So guys, drop a like if that was exciting. Hit subscribe for more, and I'll catch you very soon in the next one.